I cannot believe I'm selling an M3 for 5 grand. That runs good. Whatever. Cutting my losses. I think it's a fair price. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. I mean, if you have ever gotten in a position like this, comment below, let me know. Whatever you've lost out on, things happen, and you just gotta chalk it up and move on and hope for the best in the future. Wow, my lips are blue because I was drinking a Gatorade. Anyways, welcome to Jerry Jr.'s Garage. I know it's been a while since I posted a video, and I've had a lot going on, believe it or not, as usual. Anyway, speaking of a lot going on, the Mustang, the twin turbo Mustang, I traded for an E46 M3. I've always wanted an M3, and finally I got one. I got it home, and I popped the trunk, took out the wheels that it came with, and found that the floor is destroyed. So let's go take a look, and I'm gonna explain to you guys why I'm just gonna get rid of this, count my losses, and start over, and hopefully find another one day. All right, well, you've seen all the videos on YouTube of people buying the cheapest or the world's cheapest whatever M3 or Porsche or Lamborghini, Maserati, Bentley, whatever it is. Here is probably the cheapest 6-speed hardtop E46 M3. And I say that because, as you guys know from watching my video, I had a really sweet twin turbo Mustang, and I've always wanted one of these cars. I found this car, had a salvage title, thought it'd be a good deal, thought it'd be a fair trade. Came with 3 wheels on top of these wheels, which I powder coated these black, and these are the original M3 competition 0506 competition wheels. And one of the reasons why I like these cars so much, and if you don't know anything about M3s, you're gonna have to do some research as to why they're considered the favorite of many people. But the straight 6 engine with the independent throttle bodies, I think it's pretty cool. I think they call this the S54. It's got about 333 horsepower stock, and I think the total production number on M3s between 01 and 06 is like 80,000 was the production number or something. This car's got a salvage title. It's kind of beat up, but I didn't really care. I was like thinking, okay, you know, I'll have at least just something to, an E46 to drive around, a cheap one that I'm not really going to care about putting miles on and stuff. But anyways, sorry, that's annoying. The car came with a lot of extra receipts and things like that. The Vanos has been done, and you know, the maintenance has been there. But I got home and I realized in the trunk I forgot to check this. And if you know anything about M3s, you gotta be able to check the rear floor because they're thin back here and they're prone to failure. Well, there was a bunch of tires back here when I did the trade, and like an idiot I got all excited about the car and I didn't think about looking, and as you can see, it's pretty tore up. This is probably one of the worst ones that you'll see. This is pretty bad, but it is tore up. This thing is gonna need a floor replacement, and at a shop this is gonna run about $3,000 to $5,000, and then the panel I think is around $1,000. But they all have the problem. That's the problem for a lot of M3s, E46. It's been sitting, so I got the jumper pack on it, and I'm sorry I haven't uploaded a video in so long about this car, but the reason why I'm uploading this video is because I'm actually going to sell this car for probably the cheapest price. Give me a break here. Okay, so as I said before, I'm going to sell this car for 5 grand. That's all I'm getting, 5 grand. So I'm basically taking a huge loss, considering all the time and money spent on the twin turbo Mustang. The reason why I'm selling this so cheap is because, unlike some people, when you trade, you just never know what you're getting. And when I got back, I found that floor was like that, so that's the reason why I haven't driven the car. It does have an engine light on, and who else knows what else is wrong with it, but I didn't really care about that. But the structural integrity of it has been compromised, so I'm just going to send that down the road because we got other projects to work on in the garage. I got this Duramax I'm gonna work on, and I got a million other things to do. But one day we will do a review of the E46 M3. Another reason why I love these cars is they're just all around awesome track cars. It's like a track car that you can drive on the street. Some things I can tell you guys about it, like I don't know, you really, I always tell people, because I got friends that are into muscle cars and Hondas, and you really got to drive an M series car to really experience, to really figure out like what the big deal is. But I'm rambling. But yeah, this car is awesome. It needs some work, like this is falling down, but for $5,000, I don't think you'll be able to find another one for $5,000. The clutch feels really good. This car drives fine, believe it or not. Like, even with the trunk like that, I would have never noticed it. But really cool car. It has the independent throttle bodies. When you push this sport button, it's kind of like all these buttons nowadays. But back in 2001, this was the cat's meow right here. This wasn't too common to have a sport button, and it really makes the independent throttle bodies a lot more sensitive, and the throttle feel changes. I don't believe the steering changes at all. The Ultimate M3 is 2005 and 2006 competition package, and they got all different options as they get in newer. This is one of the first gens, the 2001, so there are some subtle differences, but overall, if you get a chance to drive an M3, and I mean, just try not to be all judgmental because it's a BMW or whatever the case, but these cars are becoming really, really popular now that the prices are getting within reach for a lot of people. And I would say if you're in the market to spend $10,000 to $15,000 on a car that you want to have a really good driving experience with, consider the M3 for sure. It's rear-wheel drive. I would get the 6-speed. The SMG is prone to a bunch of issues, but some people, prefer that. It sounds like a fun car to drive. I've never personally driven. The only SMG I've driven was the Z4, which wasn't too, it didn't seem too exciting to me. But, yeah, that's about it. This car has full exhaust, full headers and catback exhaust. It's got like I said, these are the competition 05, 06 competition wheels that we powder coated them like a silver. And then the rear trunk is carbon fiber and whatever you call that, rear lip, whatever. And the taillights, I believe these are like 06 taillights or something. But I don't know too much about this car because basically, like I said, when I got into the trunk, I was kind of like, all right, well, unfortunately, I got to count my losses here because I just don't have the time and resources right now to worry about something like this, because I'd rather just be driving it. If I buy an M3 or a BMW or a driver's car, I just want to get in it and drive it right away. I used to race a Z3, BMW Z3 on the track, and I had a lot of fun with that. And that's another reason why I got the M3. So there you have it. An E46 M3 for $5,000. Runs good, drives good. You could probably drive it anywhere. This thing came from Texas, so there's really not any rust or anything. I don't know what the guy's gonna do with the car. He told me he's gonna track the car, so I think he'll be really happy with it for $5,000. I mean, really, you can't go wrong. And if you've ever driven an M3, really, I've only driven the E46 M3, but I can just imagine what some of the other ones are like. But the straight six, naturally aspirated, some people might say, oh, it only has 333 horsepower, 270 foot-pounds torque, whatever. But I mean, really, going from a twin turbo Mustang to this car, it's like a night and day difference. Obviously, it's not nearly as fast, but it doesn't need to be. The 01 to 06 M3, they don't need to be fast. I mean, this car, it's such a driver's car. Just driving it around the block, even just as crappy as it is, it just breaks my heart to let it go. Like, I don't want to get rid of it because it's such a driver's car, and I would love to just drive it just the way it is, but I'm not going to do that. It's just it's a little too tore up for me, and you know, there's other little bugs and problems that I don't want to deal with right now. German cars are engineered way over engineered, and they have all sorts of electrical issues and just things that come up over time, which is to be expected, but I just don't want to deal with that right now. And sometimes you got to cut your losses, so there you have it. This thing is going to be sent down the road. Stay tuned for more, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to replace it with in the meantime while we fix up this Duramax here, kind of getting our priorities straight here, because the M3, for me to do it my way and have it right, it's going to take so much time. I'm going to be so picky with it, and we just don't got time for that. So we'll get back to that one more down the road. Hopefully I get a chance to drive an M3 and do an actual like real review of it, but for now I'm gonna send that one out because it needs a little too much work. So anyways, stay tuned, like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching Jerry Jr.'s Garage.